Hello everyone, welcome here to a little Arena Assault video. Going to show you a little strategy that I use through the runs that I do in Arena Assault. Maybe you know most of these strategies already, but for the people that is still struggling to get through the run, having issues when you're trying to face up to those threats such as armor teams, or sometimes even flying teams are pretty menacing with those flyers that have some pretty huge buffs, and when they're plus 10 it's pretty hard to deal with. And of course the infamous cavalry teams are pretty hard to deal with too. So hopefully we get a pretty good run. Our goal is to get a deathless run, and of course we're not going to change any of the team settings that we have right now. We're going to leave them the way they are as we go, so that you can see the synergy in their teams and how they work, just to get a little idea of course on how you can improve, or of course have a better experience while going through Arena Assault. So we're going to show first the units we're going to be using today for the first match. Have here Divine Dragon Fae, with plus 10 merges, defense Refined Lightning Breath, Double Rally, Ether, Steady Breath, Quick Riposte, Drive Speed of course for support, and close defense. Coming up next we have a plus 10 Camilla with Camilla's ads and defense refine on it, not the special refinement, because I'm pretty much running no other flying or cavalry units in my team that can get the buff that she gives to them through that weapon, so I decided to go with defense refinement. Double Rally, Ether, Attack and Speed Bond, Wings of Mercy, Speed Blow, and of course the very supportive guidance. Coming up next we have a plus 10 4-star Hana with Wodao, Speed Refine, Reposition, Iceberg, Fury, Desperation, Savage Blow, and the Squad HD3 Special Shield, which gives her 3 more speed. And finally we have Marth, 4-star plus 10 2 with the Falchion Special Refinement, Reciprocal 8, Luna, Fury, Wings of Mercy, Spur Speed, and also we have a Drive Attack on the set. So pretty supportive unit right there. And without further ado, let's go and see what we find. We'll start first with an Ishtar. This is pretty much a Dragon Core with Fjorm and Ishtar, so doesn't seem to be a very difficult battle. So in this case we're trying to keep of course always our units in the defense styles and let them approach us first. So we're going to arrange our units this way,
together. Who next?
putting Faye up front. As you can see, they are trying to approach. So here what we can do is buff Faye.
As you say.
Going to put Faye in here, and because Ishtar is still quite far away, there's no danger for Marth, so
Together.
he can reach there. You can put Hana there. And this way, as you can see, we're going to be in a very good position, receiving pretty much no damage and dealing a lot of damage back into the units. So in this situation, as you can see, this Faye has of course Steady Breath. She's plus 10. Ishtar is plus 3. Pretty interesting that that person had the chance to pull 4 Ishtars. That's pretty good. Tiki plus 10, and Fjorm I think is also, oh, she's plus 6, so pretty close, almost there to that plus 10 merge. And as you can see, of course, Steady Breath only works if the other unit initiates on you, so in this case she did not get any buffs from that, and I was the one who had all the buffs on myself, especially of course because I have close defense, which is other enemy face skill that gives you a lot of defense while receiving attacks. So let's proceed and finish Faye here, and we're going to
Understood. Yes.
approach a bit with Camilla
Alright.
and stay there with Marth and Hana. So we're going to get a buff. Fjorm gets a buff. And well, that's an overkill pretty much right there. In this case, we can stay the same position
As you say. Who next? Alright.
Just like Akaris Sander, just taking all the hits without no problems and dealing lots of damage with no problems at all. And in this case, we're going to approach with Marth.
Together.
We cannot finish her, but if we stay there
Yes.
and we buff, things are going to be turned around. This time around, we're going to be the ones who knock her out. She had quick riposte, and that's the reason why she was going to get us before. But this time around, because she did initiate on us and we didn't initiate on her, she didn't get the quick riposte skill proc, so she didn't double us because we didn't attack her on her turn. So that's very good. You must be patient sometimes and let the unit approach you and let them attack first so that you get the advantage on them, and of course just stop the unit from getting those units activated, which such as Steady Breath, as I mentioned before, and Quick Riposte.
As you say.
So now we can just simply go ahead and finish her.
Forgive me.
And that was the end of that run. As we go further, we're just going to show you that was the first match. Needed a bit of a connection with the unit, but we're going to go a bit more fluently to try to move things here. So we have we're up against a +10 Henry with close defense. Close counter and close defense too. Vengeful Fighter and Armor March, so pretty scary unit right there. Thankfully he's not Ground Blade. I have found some pretty scary Ground Blade Henrys. And pretty much a Hector with a distant counter and both fighter with Cripple Bust, Black Knight with Steady Breath and Vantage, and Effie with distant counter, Depth Harpoon, and of course Wary Fighter. +10 Effie, +2 Black Knight, +10 Hector, and +10 Henry. So pretty much a +10 armor team. So
Alright. On it.
actually let's move things a bit. Seems like Tarja is going to do a lot of work, so
Huzzah. Yeah.
we're going to move our units and put them that way. Okay, so here we're going to take full advantage of that tile, so we're going to move Hector back,
What?
and
Okay.
we're going to move Robin out of the way because of course he has color disadvantage. We're going to put Black Knight there for support. As you can see, no damage at all. Very beneficial position from that defense style. And of course, color advantage. Plus the buffs from her weapon,
Celebrate with me.
the Candelabra. Very insane damage right there. And now as you can see, these two don't have armor march, so they're going to be stuck and it's going to take quite a while for them to get to us. So we can pretty much just finish Hector right here.
I go. Got it. On it. Huzzah.
Stay in that position. No damage at all from him. Pretty much destroy him.
I'll die you, Red.
And that's the end of that. Pretty powerful, as you saw right there. This, of course, Black Knight has Steady Breath, so we're not gonna let him proc that by, of course, attacking him. We're going to wait and let him attack us first. So we're going to just wait here, wait for him to approach. And as you saw right there, sometimes that may happen, so just rethink your strategies. If you had a unit that had the color advantage against the unit that was up front, just of course swap that one for the other one that had color advantage if you happen to have it. And of course that's the reason why you must always have at least one color unit in your teams when you're going through Arena Assault. One of each in that sense, of course, like one green unit to deal with the blues, one blue to deal with the reds, and one red unit to deal with the green. So here we're just going to Let's see if, well, that's actually pretty powerful. And because she has the Death Harpoon, it would be best for us right now to back a bit.
Okay, understood. Right.
And wait for them to approach. Okay, now that we're in this position, now we can just let Robin take the hit.
Got it. Onward.
And as you can see, no damage from the Black Knight, and we pretty much do lots of damage to him. And because he has Vantage, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, it's actually the best for now to attack him from there. Not let him do a lot of damage by attacking him off the tile, and with a unit that doesn't have color advantage against him. So right after that, you can just put Hector and let him take the hit. And as you saw right there, lots of damage, and if he was not able to do a lot. So after that, we can just move our units and leave Hector right there so that he's the one that takes the hits.
Time to say goodbye.
I think this is still 0 damage. That is correct. Hector is so strong on our defense style. By the way, that was a plus attack Hector, so very powerful. So coming up next, possibly a Flyer Emblem team versus my own Flyer Emblem team that I have here set. And nope, seems like we have also one of like my main team, something similar. A mids team with a Flyer, an infantry, and two armor units. So pretty good.
So hot. Got it.
We're going to break those two just to prepare, but we're going to show you the units we're dealing with, sorry. We have an Amelia, which is +6. We have a Churchy with +10 merch on her. Black Knight, which I suppose, of course, has a +2 merch. And Fjorm with only 1 merch, so not very highly merch team, but still a good number of merches. I'm dealing with this, of course, team with +1 Corin.
Best wishes.
A no merch Asura, no merch Alencia with her pretty much default build.
Of course.
Pretty much default build for a dancer in Asura. And because my Corin has a Blower Blade weapon, I just gave her basically the most default build you can find out there for a Blower Blade unit. And of course Hinoka with her refinement on the weapon, with Darting Blow and Drag Back just for support. So of course for support we have also Gold Flyers on her. We did not follow up to use Home Flyers because my Asura already that does have that skill on her skill set, so just to have more buffs coming, of course, just in case of panic blows or anything, we have there the Gold Flyers to support. So
best wishes, always.
We're going to continue through the run and see how they move. So in this position that we have here, because Churchy does not have guidance, and Amelia is not close to, of course, the Black Knight, we can approach a bit, but it may not be the very best idea, but we're going to do it because I don't think there's other unit in the team that my Asura can deal with better. So we're going to put her right there, approach Hinoka to support, and of course Corin too for the box. And as you can see, no issues at all. We take her out with no problems. And in this situation, now we can change the focus and
let's go.
Let
Always.
Alencia do some work. Pretty interesting right there. As you can see, this Churchy is so bulky
Off I go.
that she survives a plus attack Alencia. But of course she doesn't have any buffs, so in this position still we can do it.
Always.
There's no problem if we attack first. She doesn't have advantage, so we can approach,
fight if we must.
attack, receive the hit, which is quite a bit of damage. but still, because we have drag back, or more like, of course, hit and run or drag back skills,
Of course.
we can finish her off and have no problems on the enemy turn. So we can just leave.
Yes?
Actually, we're going to approach with Corin a bit. We may need her for the upcoming fight. So,
Off I go.
as you can see, Alencia does a lot of damage to Black Knight, but still is not enough to finish him off. So what we can do is
Always.
do a little moving of the units, a little replacement of priority, and let Corin initiate and one-shot Black Knight thanks to those buffs on her weapon. And let me see, yeah, Amelia's close, close. Distant counter, so we cannot approach, so we're going to just, for now,
Of course.
dance Alencia
Off I go.
and break that block so that she
Yes.
is prepared when Alencia approaches, Camellia. We're going now to
Of course.
approach with
So
Alencia,
hot.
Corin
Best wishes.
to the side,
Always.
and we'll see that we can finish her off.
You mustn't.
It's very important to have Moonbow in such units because it helps you a lot secure kills, especially if they're plus attack. You're not really going to use a special such as Glacis or a Bonfire or Ignis because you are focusing your boons on attack, not in your defenses, so you don't really get much of a use out of those. So coming up next, we have seems like possibly an infantry team or a mid team. Also, it's actually a quote-unquote, of course, dragon infantry team because we have 2 infantry normal units, sword and a Nats unit, and 2 dragons, which are Nawi and Fae. So we can deal with this without no problems at all. Let's approach.
Ready. It's Rajat.
And let them get to us. Also, as you can see, we're going to have a bit of a shuffle up there,
My turn.
and Rajat cannot deal with Nawi, so we're going to need Raven to handle that. But of course,
Leave it to me.
because he doesn't have
Let's go.
45 speed or more, he's not going to double her, which we really need. So we're going to actually
Understood. Yes.
stay in our positions a bit more. And after that, things got way better, so we can now finish her off in a single combat.
Be silent.
Wow, that was a bit too tough. Okay, after that, we can reposition him out of the way, and
Yes.
we're going to leave Mark right there to deal with Faye. As you can see, sometimes all you need is a defense style. You don't need a plus 10 unit to deal with these situations. And as you can see, she doesn't do even a lot of damage to us. Even actually no damage at all. She has Growing Thunder. Pretty interesting.
Done.
Okay, we're going to attack with Mark here. We're going to receive a little debuff.
Understood.
But I'm pretty sure that, yeah, Rajat can finish her off. And after that, we're just going to leave Raven there because we're going to put him to deal with Mia.
Leave it to me.
For that, of course, we have Lucas,
All right.
which is a very powerful unit. Mia is +9, even though she's +9. And Lucas has no merches. Because he has color advantage and he's very powerful in those defenses,
Yes.
he's going to be getting no damage from Mia.
This ends quick.
74 damage. That was pretty much overkill. So as you can see, to be honest, I haven't really talked about the past units that we've been facing. But when they're around 28 score, that means that most of them are plus 10. And most of the units are being used and do not even exceed 2 merges. If not, of course, most of them already have only a full scale build, but they don't have any merges at all. They're just built nicely with grade 3 skills in most of them, but none of them have like 2 merges or more than that. Like I said, the majority have no merges at all. So we're facing right now a plus 10 Robin. That is a Fallen Grima legendary Robin, and a plus 10 already. So somebody must already spend some pretty good cash right there to get her, or being pretty lucky possibly, or possibly somebody really waited like 4 months or more than that to get a plenty amount of orbs. So after that, we also have here a Robin with no merges, quite interesting. This is the original first Fallen Robin that we had, the male one. We also have a Nawi, which of course is plus 10, and we have a Fae with plus 10 too. So pretty much a Dragon Emblem team here. They still miss, of course, a Red Dragon, but if they had a Red Dragon, that would have been a Spectrum Dragon team. Pretty much, but now all of the other ones have breath units, but Robin, because she cannot use a breath skill because she's flying. But Grima here and Faye have breath, warding breath on Faye and steady breath on Robin. And interestingly enough, Triangle Adept on Nawi, I guess that's to deal with of course the units like Marth and Lucina and Alm when they attack her, so that she can survive any, of course, Falcon users. So let's start. I forgot to show you what I'm using. I'm using Adelina, no merges at all, just she doesn't have Swordbreaker 3.
I understand.
Legendary frame plus attack minus HP with pretty much his default skill set.
Understood.
Ike with a Bunin resistance and a Bane and speed with Vantage.
What?
And Julia with pretty much her default skill set with Green Tone Breaker. So as you see, pretty fortunate for us. We did not swap any
It's all for you.
any
I'm
units,
going in.
Yes?
and we still have a very convincing advantage in this situation because we're using a dragon effective tome right here. So
Of course.
let's see, actually we can one-shot Julia right here, which is very good. We can one-shot with Julia, sorry. Now we can one-shot Julia. Okay. We can do here is
Understood.
move Ike to the side,
Oh, okay.
draw back with Lena, and we're going to stay this
I
way.
understand.
In this situation, I don't think it's a very good idea to approach with Ephraim. All of these units will pretty much destroy
I'm
him.
going in.
He has a very poor resistance, and all of the dragons, of course, they trigger. Most of them, of course, have just that ability that lets them attack your weakest stat when you're a ranged unit. But either way, when you're a melee unit, you're going to be always hit on your resistance, and most of the melee units don't have very good resistance, so they suffer a lot of damage. So
Alright.
let's see if we can one-shot Robin. We can't because he's on a defense style, so
To victory.
we're going to arrange our units this
It's
way
all for you.
and wait for them to approach. And let's see if we can one-shot. Oh wow, she takes only 21 damage. It's quite strong. Well, she's getting buffed, so that explains a lot. So we're going to
Understood. I understand.
wait a bit more, be patient, let them see if they move, and that paid off. Now we can attack her.
Orders.
This is pretty tough actually, because we're going to receive a lot of damage.
It's all for you.
In this situation, we're very fortunate because Ike
Understood.
has Vantage, so
Orders.
he's going to have Ether ready to use on the next round. Even still, I don't know if that's going to be enough to take Robin out. But I guess it will, because she has close defense, and that's the reason why her defense is being buffed if I attack her first. But that's the best thing that I can do for now. So I think we one-shot her. I mean, not really one-shot her, but we're going to get her in the next round because of Vantage. So
Understood.
let's initiate on her right now. And we're going to have a Vantage ready for the next round. And
Oh, okay. All right.
because of a little miscalculation, these are those situations where you really need to use the items that you have at your disposal. Because I had four cooldown, of course, on the ether, and in the end, I still don't have the special proc. So when she attacks me, even though I had Vantage, it's not going to be enough to to kill her. So in these types of situations, you may consider, as always, of course, you don't need to resist. If it's necessary, you need to use an item for support. Use it, because in these types of situations, if you have a pretty good run, which has been Deathless so far, and you don't want to throw that away, you may as well, of course, use an item and take advantage of that. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and use Nagasteer in this case. And look at that, exactly the two units which are better with that get the proc. So
Of course.
as you can see here, thanks to that, we can take advantage and finish Robin.
May the gods protect me.
May the gods protect you, lady. So that's that. And Ike even gets a bit of healing thanks to
I'm going in.
Breath of Life. So now, having a bit of a dance up there. Let's see if Lilina can one-shot Robin. She can indeed do that. So that's what we're going to do. And remember, don't hesitate to use those items. If it's necessary, if you're in a situation where you need to use them, of course. Now what we're going to do is move Ike a bit.
What?
And use drawback to help Lilina. In this situation, of course, because Ephraim is exposed from the side, she's going to approach us from that side.
Understood.
We're just going to wait for her a bit in the situation because she has no Vantage. I'll see if
Of course.
we can deal with this with Julia. We can't.
All right.
And also we can do it with Lena. So it seems like we're gonna need another item in this situation, or quite possibly, let me see.
Yes.
Yeah, she has 32 speed, so
Okay.
she can double my Lilina, and she's going to
Alright.
die effectively. And same goes for my Julia. So
I'm going in. It's all for you.
yeah, Ike doesn't like that too. So this is actually a pretty tough situation. But I guess that what we can do is use the Elixir
Yes.
Orders.
and pray that Ike doesn't die. So we can put Ike in the defense style,
All right.
and he's gonna get ether, so yeah, I'm pretty sure she's going to survive. So he's gonna hit for one time. Now he can proc ether
Defeat you.
and survive, thankfully. So in the end,
Understood.
because he was the MVP, he's going to take the last unit out. So pretty good right there. So you can see, sometimes as fights may seem tough, you may see some very scary units, and of course, even without merches, you can still do something and come out on top. So what we have here is +7 Young Ike, +10 Hector with Vantage, of course, +10 Micaiah. Wow, now I feel jealous. And we have here a +10 Erica too. So pretty much almost a full +10 team with premium units. So this must be a pretty interesting whale. Well, Erica, you could say that it's not necessarily a whaley unit, because if you get 4 stars and 3 stars, you can make one yourself. But Micaiah, sorry, Ike and Hector are all premium units, so yeah, quite possibly a whale here. But don't worry, we can still strategize, and like before, we can come out on top still. So what we're dealing with here, it's pretty interesting, but
What can I do?
we also have our units here to deal with the situation. We have a Gantra, plus speed, minus resistance, pretty much her default build, but with Darting Blow for doubling.
Can't wait.
Plus defense, minus HP Mia, no merges, just like Gantra.
What should I do?
Micaiah here, Micaiah with life and death and desperation and speed +3 seal. This is plus speed minus HP Micaiah, so that's the reason why I went with that route. Kinda like she was a Blood Blade user. She's very potent, so I'm very happy with that.
Yeah.
And also, of course, she has 2 merches.
Alright.
And no merches Navini, plus resistance minus HP. Very powerful melee unit right there. So we're going to
Let's move. Okay. Of course. Yeah.
approach a bit, trying to see what they're going to do. In the position that we're right now, Micaiah cannot reach us, and Ike is still hitting quite hard. So what we can do is
Goodness.
use drawback,
Alright.
put Nefini there,
Let's go. What should I do?
and leave the other units for support. So see, as you can see, Ike doesn't do a lot of damage. And Micaiah acts as a healer right there. We did not reach the Wrath range, which is pretty unfortunate. But
Yes.
we cannot deal with this right now. We're going to
Alright.
back out a bit, because Hector still has full HP. He still is going to proc armor boots. So we're going to
Let's move.
let Micaiah get that heal on Nefini so that she can reach desperation range. And we're going to
What can I
use
do?
drawback from Gantra. This is a pretty interesting situation. And they decided to actually go back, so they're dancing out there.
Of
Okay,
course.
we're going
Okay.
to put Nefini,
What should I do?
Micaiah for support.
Can't wait.
She has drive attack, Micaiah,
Yep.
and this is
Get you.
gonna be the end for Erica. Look at that huge damage coming from our girl Nefini right there. So here, I think we win.
Let's move.
Yep. Micaiah has desperation range, very powerful. She's going to pretty much obliterate Hector.
Alright.
We can reposition her out of the way and
Goodness. Yeah.
just wait for them to approach us. Okay, so here, I guess we
What can I
can
do?
finish Micaiah off. Micaiah, sorry, I keep on saying Micaiah. Force of habit. And oh, Nifini, does he have bandage? He does have, but still,
Alright. Yes.
he still gets one shot by Micaiah. So very powerful units as you saw right there, and still we came out on top by strategizing and following with our resources. So last team here, and of course this is not my most premium, but I could say my most reliable team for overall dealing with the units in the middle. So we have here a Anna, of course, with no merches, Fury, and I guess that's Desperation. No, that's Bandage. Pretty interesting. She doesn't have a lot of attacks, so it's not really worth to have Bandage on her. So we also have Nawi here, Warding Breath, Warding Breath with +10 merch. We have Faye with +5 merches and Close Counter, and she has some pretty good mids bulk. Not too high, but average. And we have Laszlo, which I suppose, of course, is +10 with Death Blow. So not a hard team to deal with, but let's not, of course, take our guards down. We must be always wary and never underestimate the other team. Because there's no dancer, that's pretty good for us. And I guess this time we don't need to be very wary too, but still we're going to be always observing the unit's movement, and according to those movements we're going to make our decisions. So
Let's go.
I have here my Reinhardt plus attack minus HP with no merges at all.
Let us sing.
Asura from Performing Arts with 1 merge.
All right.
No merge Alm with plus resistance minus speed.
Of course.
And +1 Diltiki with Steady Breath and Bandage. So let's see how we deal with this.
Yes.
We're going to break that block,
Understood.
approach a bit
Course.
with Reinhardt,
Hmm.
and of course we're going to wait for them to approach us. So we cannot actually we cannot attack Faye on that position. She has Cupid Arrow. So we can
Understood.
On the way. Guide me.
let Tiki take the
Leave it to
hit.
me.
And as I mentioned before, because there's no dancers here, there's nothing, well, there's not too much we should worry about. But still, because they're approaching, now we can, now we should, think a bit fast.
Let's go.
Reinhardt still is not doing too much here.
Yes.
But Tiki can, finish, Faye that up, so we can proceed to do that.
This might get unpleasant.
And of course, back to full heals.
Of course.
We can get Tiki out of the way because that's it's a very dangerous position for her.
Understood.
Let's move Reinhardt out of the
Of
way.
course.
All right.
We're going to let Asura take the hit. She has color advantage and not so bad resistance, so she should survive, even if it's a +10 Nawi. And because of Moonbow, we're going to
Time
do a
for
lot of
Requiem.
damage. Almost take her out, in fact. And after that, because she's not quick riposte, I mean Vantage, we're actually going
Let us sing.
to finish her off with Asura,
Leave it to me.
and it's a lot of damage, and he actually has Death Blow and Swordbreaker too. So
Orders.
I guess we can just do a bit of damage with Reinhardt to Anna.
All right.
We're going to reposition back
Guide me.
and let Alm fight Anna. And finish her off. Okay, after that,
Understood.
now we can just, yep, we can finish the fight with Reinhardt. So as you saw right there,
You will back
even
down.
if you're facing some very highly merged units, all you need to do is strategize, use your resources the right way, and this way you'll get a Deathless run. This was a pretty good run, to be honest. So hopefully you enjoyed, and I hope that you have good luck in your runs too. So see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.